Wait, I already have some construction dust on my shirt. Disregard that. Welcome back to the studio space. We're about 1 month in to renovation. I don't know if it looks like much has been done in here, but believe me, there has been a lot of work put into this space already. I kind of wanted to give you guys a little tour around of what's been going on in here for the last month or so. So yeah, come along with me. There's a few old churches around the studio, so I don't know if you'll be able to hear that in the background, but we're Sunday, so it's church bell day. So one of the first things we did in here was to check the walls, and it turns out that along this side, this long corridor wall of the studio, there are some old bricks. This building is dating back to 1935, so these bricks were probably from then. I guess it's kind of a good way to keep the charm of the building instead of covering it all up. What we did find, though, is that it stops at about 1 meter here from the ground, so we couldn't go below that. Instead, we moved it upwards, and I might be able to show you guys if the camera's gonna... Don't tilt. It's quite tall, as you can tell. So what we did is I literally just drew with a pencil along the wall some random shapes. Actually, what the contractors helped me do, because I did need help with this. I don't know how to do this properly. I needed help. There's a lot of stuff in here that I'm going to talk about that I was for sure not able to do on my own. So what the Chicos did was they actually drew the shape of Australia as a way to have this sort of organic form. So we found a beam behind here. So that's Christ. We found a beam behind here, so we had to split Australia into two. This shape, this straight edge, kind of mimics the one that's on the other side, and then we kind of have this weird, I don't know what shape that is, circular one there. So yeah, super happy with these. I think they look so cool. A lot of you thought, told me in the messages, please don't cover them up. And I was like, do not worry. We drew and dug these out, so I will not be covering them. So I guess it worked, because some of you thought this was already like this. But anyhow, these are made with very brittle sand between the bricks. And with time, we were worried that it would slowly erode and fall off. So at some point, we're going to cover it with, I'm not sure what it's called, but some sort of surface that's going to help just keep the sand all together, stick it together, which will also darken the bricks a little bit. Oh no, the door paper is falling off. So exposing the bricks was a pretty easy job, but then we had some walls that A, weren't straight, or B, like the one right by, this is the front door. I have some paper covering right now because I don't want people to see me film from outside. Also so that we can keep all the renovation stuff private and people aren't peeping through. But we did find that the wall holding the door, the one that's actually right here, and the one holding the window at the very back is paper thin. You could kick the wall and it would fall off. So we did have to reinforce it quite massively. The good thing is we're able to hide cables and pipes and things behind, but it was quite a bit of work to install this, and it wasn't part of the plan originally, or I hadn't thought of it. I guess this is why I needed some contractor help, because I would not have known. Good news is that by installing this, we're not only insulating the sound, we're also insulating the heat and the cold in the winter and summer, especially in the summer. The doors, though, aren't you can't see them right now. The doors aren't super great for insulation, but I didn't want to touch the doors. I wanted to keep them as original as possible until I have to absolutely replace them. So I really, really want to hold on to them so that we haven't touched. But I will show you what we did with the back window. This back wall has been a troublemaker, but we're on our way to solutioning it, to making it work. First off, the wall was super, this one in particular was really I could kick it and it would fall off. So we had to reinforce it the same way that we did at the front. Second of all is this window is just it's just not cute, you know? It's just awkwardly placed. I mean, I can't see through it. It's literally my height. I'm about 1.70 meters. So the problem was that you can't just dig holes into walls randomly. The city needs to approve what you're doing to the facade, even though this is at the back. I happen to be in a old building dating back to the 1930s, and on top of that, I'm in a protected zoning area because there's actually some really old architectural towers and things in the area where I'm close to the old town, and so the city wants to ensure that we're not just like, you know, breaking off facades of like nice buildings. Long story short, I got permission finally to not only change the window but to make it bigger. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a 2-meter tall window. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but it's going to start from about, hopefully you can see my foot, from about here. We're leaving about 20 centimeters so that in case there's flooding or what, you know, water isn't going to get in. So it's going to be a nice, tall, modern window. I did think of going for something a little old and finding something secondhand, but I think I have a lot of old stuff going on with some furniture that I've thrifted, the walls, the doors and such. I think I need a little touch of modernity, so we're gonna go with like a simple modern window. And the cool thing, guys, is that there is a patio at the back. It's very small. There's literally nothing there, but eventually I'm hoping to have like some plants. Wouldn't it be so nice to like see some plants through here? Just imagine the window goes to like, it's gonna go down here and up. I mean, yeah. So I'll probably put some like either a monstera or some like nice Mediterranean vegetation. Maybe think of like putting like a little chair. I think that's the thing that I'm the most excited about right now, other than colors on the walls. But before we get to colors on the walls, let me show you what's going on this way. These colored wall things, I don't know what they're called in English. Placo, we say in French. Insert translation here. So right behind me is the washroom that we actually completely destroyed and tore off and rebuilt. There was a lot of conversation about where do we put it, because the kiln has to go in the back here and the washroom has to go here, as well as the cleaning sink. The reason why is because the water entry and exit has to be on this wall, as well as electrical. So we had to like jigsaw things around. But what we ended up going with was putting the washroom back originally where it was. The walls needed to be taken down anyway because they were really old and pretty crappy. So we have new, pretty strong walls. The other thing that we've done is we've decided the kiln is going to go here. This is the best space that we found. And so we have anti-flammable wall protectors. Not really sure what they're called. But this is what the red colored walls are. On this same topic, last time you guys were in here, we didn't have any water. That was another thing that we had to figure out with the city, was how do we bring water back in? So we had the plumber come in last week to install some water entries here and in the back. Thank God he came, because we started getting rats in here. I didn't see them personally, but there was some rat poop that we found coming from the toilet sewers. So I believe they're closed off now, I think. But so next week we're closing up the washroom wall. This is going to be cut here. You're not going to see this. It's just going to be a tiny little toilet. But I actually took out the sink from in there just to make more space for the kiln, as well as a little kitchenette. I think that's one thing I'm also really excited about. Right here is going to go this really, really nice antique stone sink. Initially, I was gonna go for something like stainless steel, kind of like you see in the back of kitchens, but we found these antique stone sinks that weren't that expensive, TBH. We just found them in this like outdoor construction store, and they just like leave them outside on the floor, and there was like, I don't know, like almost 100 sinks or something just laying on the floor there. So hopefully that's going to come in soon. And then the other thing that I've been working on is deciding what will go on the counter space here. I think what we're going to do, or what I would really like to do, is tile it. The colors of the tiles is something I can go into and show you guys, but I think right now I'm leaning going towards like a burgundy deep wine color. So we talked about building new walls, but we've also built a new drop ceiling halfway through the space. The reason being that the wall was pretty crappy looking. It was all like not moldy, but kind of just not flat and gross looking, like rusty looking. So we did a drop ceiling that also allows us to hide some electrical under, which is cool. Now the conundrum that I'm having right now currently is, if you see this ceiling light was supposed to be aligned with that one in the middle. But what the guys did is align the two at the back. You could probably see a little better like so, that the one right here is centered to this ceiling and the ones at the back over there are aligned, because the wall's narrow, right? Are aligned together. Is it going to look weird to have one light centered this way and the ones at the back like so? At first, I was going to tell them to change it back to how I had initially anticipated it to be, but I think they had a good point though, that these two lights, because they were part of the drop ceiling, they kind of go together. I think they have a fair point. So that's one thing I need to decide soon. What do you guys think? I am maybe tempted to keep these as they are, centered to the drop ceiling, and then this one just is a lonesome one. Since we've been doing the electrical, we also have some outlets installed here. This is where the my wheel is going to go. So I asked to install a two socket outlet. Now, what I did want to address is this damn pipe that's been giving us a lot of trouble. And if I stand this way, you see how far it goes. And it's just, especially on the other side, I'll show you, it's just dangling awkwardly off of the floor away from the wall. It's about 7 to 8 meters long. It's just so in the way that I can't really do much on this whole side of the wall, because there's just so much distance from, like, I could put my whole entire foot here, you know? So in order to figure out what this pipe was, we had a couple water inspectors come in. Eventually we realized this is the water distribution or entry into the building for all the residences upstairs. So this is a pretty important massive pipe that has been here a very, very long time. The other thing too is that it is quite damp in this area. It shouldn't be damp like that, which means it's slightly leaking, which is a no-no. So after lengthy conversations with the building, with the residents, etc., with plumbers, we finally have permission to move it. We're going to take it out of this studio and it's going to go on the other side of the wall, which is where the stairwell to all the residents is. Fingers crossed it might happen next week or the week after, but this pipe has definitely been slowing us down quite a bit. Oh my God, I need to stand up on my knees. Let me show you how far it goes. So it starts from here and it goes all the way to the wall there. And the way it is right now is it's just dangling off from the floor like so. And it's not even straight. So yeah, this is pretty bad. I'm glad that the residents agree with me that this looks pretty bad and that we're able to change it. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary of what we've had done in here so far. Soon as we have the new window installed, the new washroom walls put in, this big water pipe taken out, we'll be able to do more aesthetically visual, changes that you'll be able to definitely notice. I mean, it already feels so much better in here to see a lot of the walls straighter, being just like one plain color from floor to ceiling. I can't wait for the colors to go up on the walls. We're not going to go with a white. We're going to go with something a little different that I can't wait to share. I mean, I'm also at the stage where I'm not really sure how the color is going to come out, because we're going to go with lime plaster. And we're mixing in pigment into the lime plaster, and we're deciding, what the proportion of color should be in there. Once we have the walls done, most of this junk out, the final step is going to be cleaning and polishing these floors. Actually, the other day, what happened was the plumber was installing the sinks, and as he turned on the water came splashing out of the wall, like straight onto the wall on the other side. And so because there was water that splashed everywhere, we got to mop up the floor and see a lot more of the color. It's just like this deep maroon red color. Love it. And yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. We're at the stage where we're about to exit all the like foundational, renovation work, and we're going to enter the more aesthetic design part. I've already thrifted a really nice table that's gonna go right here. It's from the 19th century. And I'm very, very excited. I've already bought it. It's waiting in storage to come in here. I need to wait for the floors to be done before I can bring it in. We have some custom shelving that's going to come. We have some tiles that's going to come in. That antique sink. I'm also looking into considering thrifting a door for the washroom instead of going for like a modern door, finding something thrifted secondhand. But I have to double check what the ceiling height it is that we're doing and how much that would cost to bring in. Obviously, this is costing a lot. I mean, I knew that renovations would kill my bank account, but it's all worth it. Hope you're enjoying this series, guys, and much more to come soon. Okay. See ya. Bye.